Anyway, what we're going to do here is talk a little bit about leading figures with very, very, very light control and touch and very quick and strong responses. And what we mean by this is I should be able to lead any variation I lead with no more than just a slight touch of the hand, indicating the patterns as lightly as I possibly can. Okay, I have three different concepts to make a lead work and a pattern. There are three parts, L-I-L, lead, indicate, or let. There are three pieces to make it work. I'll give you an example of that. On an underarm pass, I'm going to bring Marianne over on this side of me so you can see everything that's happening. My first objective is to lead. The lead that I would do is to get the partner to move off of the standing position. So I'm going to move away and start the pattern. That is a lead. Now, the let of the pattern, or I should say the next thing would be to indicate. Indicate would mean what I want her to do. My body is already doing this. My shoulders opened up. My hand is turning over. The direction of my fingertips point the direction of the turn she's going to make. The angle of my shoulder shows her that the pattern is going this way. That's indication. She already knows what's coming. Now, the letting part is where most men fail. I will let the lady dance the pattern. I'm not going to make her do the pattern. I'm not going to pull her through the pattern. I'm going to move out of the way and let her do the pattern. 4, 5, and 6. So lead, indicate, and let her go by 5 and 6. Now, in that one variation, there's more to it, obviously. If you have this 4-count pattern, on the 4th count, I have to lead again. So I'm going to lead on the first count. 1. I'm going to indicate on the 2nd count. 2. I'm going to let her dance. 3 and on beat 4, I'm leading again. I'm reconnecting to the partner. My lead now is to say, stop here. This is 4. 5, the indication is my obvious not moving, but taking the steps in place. 5 and on the last beat, I relaxed everything. 6, just enough to let her finish the step. So again, I'm leading, indicating, letting, leading, indicating, letting.
Now for the ladies, that's why it's so important that you know your part. You're responsible for your moving down the slot. Otherwise, it's going to be very tempting for the beginner dancer to try and force the matter. So once he leads me forward, I know that my second step should be forward also, in basics. Now, once he lifts my hand, where else can I go but under it? And as I do that, I should turn and face him by 4, get to the end of my slot, we reconnect, and we both anchor.
Now, one of the common problems that I've seen in a lot of the basic classes that I've taught is even though the guy has properly led the pattern, he's properly led it, he's properly indicated. At this point, I've seen many ladies turn the wrong way. The hand is in the air, and she rolls to the right to go through instead of to the left. If this is happening, it's because she did not actually catch the indication part. And usually when they don't catch the indication part, it's because their eyes are too low. If the pattern comes up and on 2, my hands are in front of the eyes, she can sense the direction of the turn. If my hand is too high to go into the air and too wide, she can't see it, so she can't tell which way I'm pointing the fingers. Now, as an experienced dancer, she can feel that with her hand, but a non-experienced dancer, they don't feel this yet. So they're going to turn just because the hand is in the air. And the most comfortable way to turn would be to the right because it's her right foot that's coming forward. So you'll find that she's going to go the wrong way, guys, unless you put the indication more where she can see it in front of her, and then finish lifting the hand slightly over the head to do the pattern. And again, this is taking hardly any connection as far as power. It's very light, it's very obvious, and that's what you're after. Make everything as clear as you possibly can. Minimize the movement, maximize the result.
We can also go into a closed position, and I'm going to explain for the ladies' part, really important that you connect to his right hand. Once his right hand goes underneath your left shoulder blade, that is his lead hand, and your job is to connect into it. Now, what we don't want to do, ladies, is tighten all these muscles and do a vice grip or get very heavy up here in the upper body. What I do is I press into my left foot, press and lift and tone lightly into his right hand. Now, if he wants me to rock or tuck, I'm going to propel power. I'm going to push myself forward off of that right hand. So he doesn't have to push me forward. I rock, watch. I can actually radiate power if I press off of his right hand. What I don't want to do is push through my shoulders, because then I'll get very heavy. So I want to use the floor.
Now notice that she doesn't leave my hand during the point of that. She doesn't do the 1, 2, and jump off my hand on the end 3. Until the third count is complete, she's still in my hand. 1, 2, and 3.
Good.
It's not until the fourth count that she actually physically uses it to propel herself out. 5 and 6. Because we see that happen a lot with the guys leading the rock back, and they go to do the tuck, and as the man's hand is tucking, she's already stepped out of the hand. So there is no physical lead anymore. She's doing something she knows is coming, and that's assuming, and that's not something you want to do.
Right. The other thing that we could go over is struts, where he may have my hand behind my back. If he wants to lead me into a strut and your arms are loose, try it. You can't do it.
That's awful. That feels terrible.
There's no control as far as the lady's concerned.
Listen, this is on video. This is the first time I bet you anybody's ever said Marianne felt terrible.
But what I'm doing here is I'm toning this muscle here, the upper lat. These I'm lifting. I'm pulling these down. It's a very comfortable toning, but I'm doing it through the floor. Now, if he wants to lead me, it's like leading a what?
One-piece unit. It's all one
Right.
piece. I can feel every step she's taking. I don't have to guess. I don't have to look down to see what foot she's on. I can feel it through the frame. Now, if you notice that no matter what I'm doing with the arms and the hands and the legs, the body, everything is moving except the head. Her head is isolated. Her head is staying stationary, which keeps her looking more relaxed. We see a lot of beginners do the same thing, and while this is going on, the head is going with it, which makes you look like he is in control of you, which you don't want that to look like, even though he is in control of the pattern a bit more. But she's very light. It's very easy to maneuver her back and forth. There's a sense of relaxation there when you're dancing with somebody who does that. You don't feel like you better hurry up and get them out of this because they might not be ready. She feels very comfortable and very prepared for anything that may happen.
Speaking of relax, what I'm doing is I'm actually relaxing my shoulders and letting them fall back and down. That way I don't feel heavy to him, or I don't feel heavy in my upper body. So once he places his hand there underneath my shoulder blade, I'm going to let my shoulder blades fall over like flowers on a vase, how the flowers hang over the side of the vase, and very relaxed up here. But I am toning this part using the floor. Okay.
That's a good explanation. If I could describe the amount of weight she's putting in my hand, if I give you a 1 to 10 scale, I'd say she's probably putting about a 4 on my hand right now. 5 meaning, I mean, to me, 10 would be way out there, like pulling very heavy. 5 would be just borderline me hanging on, and if I move, you can see her body go back a little bit. The fourth one, it's just enough pressure that if I move the hand, there's no loss of balance. She's just putting a little bit of compression there.
And that's because I'm centered over my left foot. I'm not to the edge of my heel of my left foot.
See how it's pulling me over now?
Right, and then he's supporting all my weight. I want to support and manage my own weight and just connect into his right hand.
Okay, so a real quick review again. We have the underarm basic. We talked about leading, indicating, and letting her go. And it doesn't matter what pattern you lead. If I lead a two-hand tuck, I lead, I indicate the tuck. I'm not going to turn her, I'm just going to let her turn. 5 and 6. If I want more than a single turn, then I have to lead again. I lead and relax again. You can see the hand calm down to let her do the spin. So there's lead after lead after lead going on. You just have to be careful not to be leading all the time. That's when it becomes a wrestling match. So let her dance a little bit on her own. Trust that she knows what you want her to do. If you find she's not following you, then figure out how much more lead you need to make it work, but try not to go beyond that amount. That'll take you a little while to get to, especially if you're a beginner.